So I decided to do my project on Canada's economy. I feel that the Canadian economy can be a lot better than it is at the moment, especially compared to what it used to be and what it is now. Canada versus the United States. So ever since the beginning of the Canadian dollar, the American dollar and the Canadian dollar has always typically been on par, maybe a little bit off, like the Canadian dollar being $1.01 to one American dollar. Um, until 2013. In 2013, the Canadian dollar started inflating at the point that it was worth, so the American dollar was worth 1.45 to the Canadian dollar. Um, as of right now, though, the dollar is worth 1.26 to the one Canadian dollar. Considering that at one point Canada was on par with the United States, it's just showing that our economy is going bad. The federal government are the ones who are responsible for the Canadian economy. Trudeau plans on fixing the economy by going into a deficit of $10 billion for 3 consecutive years. He plans on doing this by investing into the economy and growing it in that way. So what that means is, after every year, he plans on taking set amount of money and investing it to certain things in Canada till it totals a deficit or a loss of $10 billion. And this way, it'll boost businesses, all that kind of stuff, and then it'll just make them grow more, which will in turn help the economy in the long run. What are some ways that we can boost the economy? So if you think business perspective, when you think of Canada, you don't think of any super big businesses that grew and had big investments into them. The one business that I can think of that is from Canada is Canadian Tire. But Canadian Tire doesn't expand into the United States, so any purchases made in like if it was in the United States would help benefit the economy, but that just can't happen because it's only in Canada. Some other things are trade barriers. In Canada, we have certain trade barriers that block big businesses' access to certain resources. If we eliminate these barriers, companies will be able to export a lot more goods, in turn helping the economy. Exporting. We need to make Canada an export gateway. If we create a single trade enabling network, that will allow Canada to export a lot more. As is, Canada is not exporting as much as it could, and the more you export, the more you help your economy. And the last point, innovation. Canada's not really known for anything in certain, like a big break of a product or like technology that has been made. So like the United States maybe came up with the first nuke or something like that that will everyone wants to invest in this new project, and all these other countries are investing and just helping your economy grow. Canada needs to do something like that, and it'll help benefit it. Laws to help the economy. So obviously there's no real way to create a law that can help the economy, but indirectly there's a couple ways that you can do it. Say, we'll take one for example, if there's laws in place to stop selling drugs illegally. I think that if they stricten the law and make more severe punishments, it'll help reduce the amount of people selling drugs. Now, the reason why this will help the economy is because a lot of times with drug dealers, they find a way to launder their money. And what laundering money is say you have a business and you want to launder money, you make fake transactions, and then you filter through money, and then it goes on your books as a legitimate transaction, but it wasn't. Nothing was actually sold, and this inflates the economy. Also, it keeps, if there's a known drug spot, not a lot of people want to visit those businesses, and businesses lose customers, in turn worsening the economy. My opinion. I think the best way to help an economy is spending into it. I agree completely with Trudeau's plan to increase government spending in the economy, and in turn to help the boost in Canada's economy in the long run. Being someone that likes to do a lot of shopping online, it really sucks when I have to use Canadian currency. I like to shop on Amazon, and if you compare the two prices, so if you go to Canadian Amazon to American Amazon, something that might be $59.99 in American will be almost $80 on Canadian. With the new Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, I hopefully, after this 3-year plan that he has, it'll stabilize the economy to be more equal with the United States. And then purchasing stuff online, there won't be such a big inflation between American and Canadian dollars. Anyway, that's it for my presentation. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed.